everyone, and welcome to Thorough Newspaper Analysis by LawSikho. Let's see what articles we will be discussing today from the Indian Express and the Hindu. Basically, today there was only this one article from the Indian Express titled as "Seize the Deal," which holds importance for our syllabus. The other articles were more related to the COVID-19 thing, which we have already discussed perhaps, or some other articles which do not really relate to our syllabus. And that is why being judicial aspirants or any aspirant for any other exam for that matter, it is very important here we should tell you all that we should strictly adhere to our syllabus. And nothing out of syllabus should be read for that matter, and thus it should be really understood here that what is important for our exam and what is not important for exam. And keeping that in mind, we only could find out this one article from the Indian Express, which will be talking about the very recent US and India quick trade deal which has taken place and which will be really beneficial to India, and how it will be a very good step that if India takes. But yes, it should be very careful and mindful while keeping the balance between the trade between itself and the United States of America. And thus we'll be discussing this in detail. It's a very comprehensive, very small article though, but it was really informative, and thus it is very important. And secondly, we have the News and Flash column, which is LawSikho's its own initiative, wherein we talk about the short and crisp news articles which are important from our prelims exam point of view. This is the LawSikho test prep course, and anyone viewing this news analysis can definitely join in for the judiciary test prep preparation. And we are excelling at various other courses as well, and top educators over here will be training you. And this is the lot of courses. We were just talking about judiciary test prep course, and here you can go to the official page of this landing page, and here you can download for yourself free study material right now. So the link is there in the description box. Do check it out. And we have various other courses which can anytime be viewed on LawSikho. With this, let's see that what is the multiple choice question that we will be talking about today. So the concept of this will be discussing somewhere in our analysis, and let's see that who will be able to remember this question and find the correct answer as and when discussed. The question is, Tianwen 1, recently seen in news, is a Mars mission launched by first, South Korea, second, UAE with China, third, Cambodia, or fourth, China. Do write down your answer in the comment section as soon as you're able to get this from the content discussed today. And if you know it right now, then also we recommend you to write it down in the comment section. So this is the descriptive question for the day. In order to secure for itself a strong position on the global level, India's trade with United States should be strengthened, but in a balanced approach. So please note that this question has two parts attached to it. First, it talks about the growing or the need to grow India and US trade. And secondly, the need to make this growth quite balanced and calibrated. Discuss the above statement in the light of recent trade developments between the both. This answer has to be written within a word limit of 250 to maximum 300 words, and thus it can easily be accommodated in the comment section below. We would really appreciate if the aspirants are able to write this answer down, and we will be definitely reviewing these answers. So it's really important exercise for your mains answer writing, and thus it should be taken up seriously. Now let's begin with the India-US trade deal. Let's see that why actually this entire issue is in news right now. The Union Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal announced that India and US were close to finalizing a quick trade deal covering around 50 to 100 goods and services. Basically, we have just been able to cover, and though it is not formalized completely though, but yes, it has all the possible chances to be formalized as soon as possible. And this is a very quick trade deal. Basically, by quick trade deal, we mean that it is not actually a very comprehensive and elaborate and huge free trade agreement between India and US, the usual ones that we usually carry out, but it is a very quick one, or to say it is a very shorter or smaller version of a free trade agreement, keeping in mind the requirements of the nearby future. And it would be covering around 50 to 100 goods and services. Basically, these goods and services we'll just discuss actually related to the intellectual property rights. Then these stunts, you must be knowing that when there is any kind of heart surgery or any kind of surgeries related to the veins. So in that, a particular medicated agent is used, agent to say, or it is a tool, it is a small, to say, a pipe kind of a structure which is called as a stunt, which is very important, but India has to import it from USA. So it says that India will be importing it, but India will be putting up lower tariffs on this, which will definitely make these products from USA more competitive in the Indian market. And thus a list of similar 50 to 100 goods and also services are also included in this quick trade deal. Now let's see in more elaborate manner that what actually is this quick trade deal. India will be providing concessions to US farm products, as we just discussed, that to the pricing of medical products like stunts, and also farm products, and mainly dairy out of that. As we know that the dairy products from United States of America and New Zealand are considered to be one of the best in their quality when talked about at the global level. In that scenario, USA also has a surplus of dairy products and other farm products as well. And in that situation, it would definitely want to export its extra produce. And in that scenario, India has kind of agreed to give considerable concessions to these US farm products, and especially the dairy products, and also to the pricing of medical stunts or medical products like the stunts. In exchange, and now let's see that what actually India will receive from United States in exchange of this concession given on the farm products, medical products, etc. In exchange, US will restore the benefits extended to India under generalized system of preferences and market access to generic drugs. Here, two very important discussions are there. First, that India will be given back. Now, this should be understood that it will be restored, which means that India already had once enjoyed the extended benefits under the GSP, or the Generalized System of Preferences, and that is why it becomes important for us that what actually it is, which we were recently taken away with from, and now the US is promising us to give it back. And secondly, the important thing is market access to generic drugs. We already know, we've already discussed in our previous sessions, that India is known as the pharmacy of the world. This is also an important question from prelims point of view, that which country is known as the pharmacy of the world. We really might not be able to relate this to our own country, because we many a times tend to think very little of it, but that is not the case. It should be known, because India is known as the pharmacy of the world, because it is famous in the whole world for not only making advanced drugs and generic drugs, but also producing them at very economical prices that are very pocket friendly and very economical in nature. And that is why it is considered to be as the pharmacy of the world. And that is why we can easily understand that India obviously has an excess, or to say a good position for exporting these generic drugs. Thus, we will have a market access in United States now to export our generic drugs. And secondly, we will be able to enjoy once again the extensions or the concessions that we were enjoying under the GSP, or the Generalized System of Preferences. Now, for further clearance of our understanding, it's important that we now understand that what is Generalized System of Preferences. Basically, it is a US trade preference program, which is the Generalized System of Preferences, or the GSP. They provide opportunities for many of the world's poorest countries to use trade to grow their economies and climb out of poverty. Basically, what is the thing is, because we know that United States of America is the largest economy of the world, and keeping that in mind, it becomes important that on a global level, US and other large economies for that matter, they realize their role as a leader, not as in terms of creating a hegemony to say, but yes, as its own responsibility to work and to do something to uplift the poorer countries of the world. Now, these poorer countries need not be very poor for that matter, but yes, there is a criteria set for that, and various underdeveloped and developing countries come under this criteria. And in the category of developing country, India also used to enjoy these opportunities, or to say these concessions under the GSP, or the Generalized System of Preferences. And it is the largest, GSP is the largest and oldest US trade preference program. Basically, it was established by the Trade Act of 1974, and just the only thing that is important for us right now is that what is the aim and what is the meaning of GSP. Basically, GSP promotes economic development of all the nations by eliminating the duties. Duties are the custom duties which are applied on the products at the time of import, on thousands of products were imported from one of the 119 designated beneficiary countries and territories. Basically, what used to happen was that because India was also considered to be a developing country till date, and that is why various products that were being exported from India to the United States of America, they enjoyed this concession on the duties or on the tariffs for that matter under the GSP. But very recently, though it is not mentioned in this article, but we should know that very recently what happened was that the United States Trade Representative, which is also known as the USTR, basically it took India out of the list of the developing countries, and thus it is easy to understand now that since India, according to US, was not considered to be a developing country anymore, and it's considered it to be as a developed country, thus it was taken away from all the concessions and benefits that it was till date enjoying again under the GSP, which was a very big strike blow for the Indian products, because we know that till date we are striving to make our own economy and good domestic products more competitive at the global level. And if in this scenario more and more tariffs would be put up on these products, then definitely they would not be very globally competitive, and thus they would fall in the global market. And thus India was trying to make a balance in some way or the other, wherein it could get back these concessions and tax concessions from the under the GSP from the United States. And thus through this quick deal, we might consider that India would be able to regain and restore its benefits that it used to enjoy under the GSP. So this is actually a list of a lot of Indian exports under the GSP were given. Like we can see that a lot of important like organic chemicals, vehicle parts, accessories, furniture, electrical apparatus, stone, sand, cement, etc., nuclear fuel materials, TV and video equipment. So basically a lot and a huge of this part from India's export, it was covered under GSP. And thus if we are restored with this, then we will definitely have a lot to gain. Next, let's understand that what are the issues ahead and what balanced approach, and what manner India should be taking a balanced approach. US or the United States is likely to push for greater access for its agricultural dairy products, basically, which was the major impediment in the RCEP negotiations. Now here we need to really understand a very short history of what we have just covered is of the RCEP. So basically RCEP is the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. What happened was, let's just understand like a very small and short story. This is basically the RCEP, Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. This is the it is the largest free trade agreement amongst the countries in the whole world, and it consists of 10 of the ASEAN nations, which are these, and 6 other non-ASEAN nations. So basically the members of RCEP. Now here this also is an important question, because it may be a part of prelims question whether India is a member of RCEP or not. So in finality, though here it is written that these are the 6 other members, but when RCEP was finalized, India dropped out of RCEP. Please mind that India currently is not a part of RCEP or the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, but it is supposed and it is believed that at a later stage maybe India will be able to join it, and India would want to join it first of all. So these are the 10 nations: Brunei, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam. So these are the 10 ASEAN nations, as you already know. And here, this was the initial composition, but excluding India now, Australia, China, Japan, South Korea, and New Zealand, they are the current members. So 15 members currently we have in the RCEP, and not 16, because India is not a part of RCEP. Basically, India, which has agreed to give the US farm products, especially the dairy products, and easy access in the Indian market. This might become a bit controversial, because this was one of the biggest reasons why India did not join the RCEP. And now it should really be understood very critically as to what are the reasons that now India is joining almost a similar deal with the United States, but did not join this very deal with the RCEP. And secondly, the author also says, or the contention of this entire article also says, that Okay, fine. Even if you're joining this quick trade deal with the US, wherein you would be giving the access to Indian domestic market to these dairy products in specific, then you should definitely go for a very balanced and calculated approach, wherein you do not tend to harm or to say hamper the very domestic producers of your own country. Because now when we are talking about being Atmanirbhar, it is very important that we pay heed to the domestic culture and domestic to say production of various products. And secondly, because the dairy products coming from the United States are already of a very premium quality, then it would definitely mean that the Indian products would again fall short now, and then again the domestic producers would be harmed. And that is why this was one of the reasons why we didn't join RCEP. And also there were issues relating to the IPR and digital taxation. Thus, it is saying over here that the very reason that did not allow us to join RCEP is here the reason that we are joining it with US. Thus, it should be taken very carefully by Indian government, Indian authorities, so that a proper balance is maintained between the import and also the domestic producers. Basically, this is the RCEP timeline which is given, which is particularly not very important but for us, but for those aspirants who do not know much about RCEP, definitely go through this timeline, wherein it was finally in November 2019, all the members, they signed their agreements to RCEP, but India, it came out of the deal and to protect the vulnerable sections of its own domestic market. And this is just a short discussion that why did we drop out of the RCEP. First of all, we had issues involving greater trade and integration with global economies, and then India contended that it has not till date received much benefits from the previously signed FTAs or the free trade agreements, and thus it makes no much sense that India joins this huge free trade agreement not until we are well equipped and we have strengthened enough the domestic players. With this, let's jump quickly to the news and flash section, wherein the first news is the one to be celebrated, which we already have been doing since the month of February. But yes, women officers have gotten the permanent commission in army, and the Ministry of Defense has issued the formal sanction, though the Supreme Court had ordered the same thing in the favor of women in February itself. In the case of the Secretary, Ministry of Defense versus Babita Punia and others, it was a February 17, 2020 decision. But now a formal order has been given by the Ministry of Defense, wherein a sanction letter has been given granting the permanent commission to women officers in all 10 streams in which they presently serve. Thus, it is important for us to remember the name of this case, which is the Secretary, Ministry of Defense versus Babita Punia and others, which directed the government to grant permanent commission to women officers in all services. Secondly, China launches ambitious Mars mission. With this, we hope that you will be able to get the answer to our MCQ for the day, wherein China launched its Mars mission Tianwen-1, or in the Chinese language, it means questions to the heaven, yesterday from the Hainan Island, south of China's mainland. The spacecraft used the Long March 5 carrier. Thus, there are 2 or 3 things that are important. Firstly, it is a Mars mission launched by whom? China. The name of the mission is Tianwen-1, or the Questions to Heaven. It was launched from the Hainan Islands, and the spacecraft was launched using which carrier or which rocket? It was Long March 5 rocket or the carrier. If successful, China will join the US in successfully landing a spacecraft on Mars. And though it should be known that it is not the first attempt, though it had made an attempt in 2011 also, but due to some technical glitches, technical errors, the very project or the entire mission, it exploded within the atmosphere of the Earth, and it could never reach the Mars, obviously. And that this is the second attempt of China. And if China is successful, then it would join US in successfully landing a spacecraft on the Mars. Third, Ranjan Gogoi, who was the Chief Justice of India just before Mr. Justice Sharad A. Bobde. So he is named for the House Panel on External Affairs. Basically, former Chief Justice of India, Ranjan Gogoi, has been nominated as a member of the Parliamentary Committee on External Affairs. Now, as we know that there are various parliamentary committees that have some specific functions to take over. Thus, the Parliamentary Committee on External Affairs, for this, former Chief Justice of India, Ranjan Gogoi, has been nominated as a member. Fourth, Digital Economy Ministers Meeting. The meeting will take place as a part of the Sherpa track for the G20 Leaders Summit 2020, which is to be hosted please mind this language. It is mind this spelling. Hosted by Saudi Arabia at the end of 2020. So thus it should be remembered that G20 Leaders Summit has to be there in 2020, and it will be hosted by Saudi Arabia at the end of 2020. Now let's see. Hopefully it might also be a virtual meeting like the other summits that are going on till date. The G20 is made up of 19 countries and the European Union. So it is a very huge collaboration to say. The theme of this year's summit, which is very important to be remembered, is realizing opportunities for the 21st century for all. Fifth, National Broadcasting Day. On 23rd July, the National Broadcasting Day is observed all over India, and the reason for that and the significance of this day is that on this day in 1927, so approximately like 100 years ago, like 93 years ago, the first ever radio broadcast in the country went on air from the Bombay station under the Indian Broadcasting Company. Thus, it should be remembered that the National Broadcasting Day is commemorated as this day on every 23rd July. India Idea Summit 2020. Prime Minister Modi, while delivering his speech at the summit, urged the US firms to choose India as their investment destination, and he also said that it is the right time for them to invest in India. And the summit is being organized by the US-India Business Council. This year marks the 45th anniversary of the formation of the US-India Business Council, and thus it should be known that who is organizing the India Idea Summit 2020. So it is the US-India Business Council, UIBC, and it is in order to commemorate the 45th anniversary of the US-India Business Council, and the theme of this year's summit is Building a Better Future. With this, we are done with today's news in flash and also the newspaper analysis. We hope that it was a good session for you. Do subscribe this channel or LawSikho for further more details, as we keep on posting such informative sessions almost every day, and thus and the newspaper analysis is definitely coming every day, as you all must have been seeing. And we hope that you liked this program, and stay tuned with us for more such sessions. Thank you.